So then when I am getting ready to brain tan a hide, so first I'm mixing up my dressing, whether that is a mixture of brains and warm water, or egg yolks and warm water, or soy lecithin in warm water. I was able to do that once with Dennis Lanigan. He's also on Instagram, an amazing tanner, friend of mine. That was cool. Or also a combination of oil, soap, and water, which that's the only one I've never done before, but Matt Richards writes about that and has a recipe for it. I've been really wanting to try that with lard, like pig lard, water, and soap, to see if that would work, because I always have so much rendered fat in pig lard, but I don't know that I want to experiment on a whole deer hide yet with that. I might try squirrel. So any of those combinations of dressing, common and well known with brain tanning. The consistency at the end, it's almost the consistency of milk. This isn't a globby thing. I'll talk about that more later. So my dressing that's warm, I'm usually using egg yolks. It's usually what I have. I don't want them to cook, obviously, so I'm not going to get too warm, but as warm as I can. Laying my hide down, smearing on layers of the dressing liquid that's warm, and it takes a while to soak in, so I might just smear on one layer. I don't want it to drip all over the fur, so I'm kind of careful. And then I might kind of wait for 10 or 20 or 30 minutes for it to really start to soak in to the skin, for the skin to start to get really soft and flexible again. Okay, and then I might smear on another layer and have it soak in more. Then I will usually fold the hide in half, so it's laying down flat, and I'll fold it symmetrically, so like leg to leg, so that I don't get dressing all over the fur as much as possible. I'll try to like fold the hide kind of in half lengthwise, and then kind of roll them up or fold them up. It's hard to do with rawhide, but if it were all wet, you know, and rehydrated, it would be easier. Until it's just like a bundle, right? And then I like to either like wrap it in like a towel, like a towel that was in hot water. So a hot, steamy, wet towel, like wrap it up in, and then put it in a warm place. Or even like a plastic grocery bag, just like put it without a towel, just put it straight in a plastic grocery bag and tie it shut, and then put it in the sun or just a really warm place for an hour or two. I just really want time for the solution, the dressing, to really seep into and soak into the skin, because for me it really takes a while. And that's just my personal preference. I'm sure not everybody does it that way. I mean, I'm the kind of person who likes to, when I'm doing deer skin, brain tan buckskin, I like to let the hide like sit in the dressing in a bucket like overnight and then not wring it until the next morning if I can. I just like the long soak, maybe because I like hot baths myself. So, you know, once this is sort of soaked for an hour or two, I'll open it back up again. If any parts of it still feel rawhidey, I'll smear some more of the dressing on there. Maybe wrap it back up in a steamy towel or bag. Let it sit a little bit longer. But if it feels ready, like it's flexible again, the skin is like nice and white again. It's not that off-white color of rawhide. It's just like white, supple, really soft skin again. Sometimes I'll then like wipe off the excess dressing with a rag, or with my softening paddle. I haven't introduced those, but I have like a million. It's just the tool that I use for softening all hides. They're wooden paddles, and they're in all different woods. So, you know, they all have the spirits of different woods inside. How do we get on camera? Here's one that's like a full-length one. So it's about like as tall as my, a little lower than my hip. Here's a short one. They're all different sizes, but basically one of my greatest tricks of all tanning. Like, this is one of my greatest tricks I could ever share. Is that they have a really sharp blade edge to them. I don't know if you can even see. I mean, this one is Osage orange wood, so it's such a hard wood that it can really have an edge. It can hold an edge remarkably sharp for wood. This one's black cherry, and I sharpen them as they dull. So sometimes I'll take one of my softening paddles and kind of squeegee. I was just doing this the other day, actually. I was really liking this method. When the hide's laying down, kind of like squeegee out some of the excess solution. Kind of like wipe it off my paddle. Just keeps the hide from being as sticky. Helps it to dry faster. So these are my beautiful softening paddles. I would burn them all. They're so magical. Carve them all by hand with a draw knife or sometimes just a hatchet. They're portable. They're good for classes. My gypsy life. And then I'll soften the hide. And I'm usually softening with the paddle. So I can either use a tall paddle and I'll sit in a chair, kind of hold the paddle between my knees, or sit on the ground with a small paddle, like sit cross-legged and wedge the small paddle kind of in my foot or something. And then I'm usually, you can see the blade, sharp blade there, you know, rubbing the hide over that sharp blade all the way around the edges. I mean, you guys know how to soften. You run all the way around the edges, and then I kind of go up and down the hide and crosswise, and then do the face, and then start all over again. Soften the hide. So what the paddle is doing, you don't have to use a paddle. I just like them because, for one, it allows me to stretch the hide just by pulling a hide over this, right? No matter what it is. Use a little one. So this was the little groundhog. Right, so this is helping to stretch the hide. And even more importantly, the sharp blade is a little bit abrasive. So it does what a pumice stone would do, which is to abrade the surface fibers of the leather at the same time. When you're softening any hide, whether it's vegetable tanning or brain tanning, if you can have those two actions happening at once, for one, stretching the fibers in all different directions. Imagine these are the protein fibers of skin. Stretching them and moving them and stretching them. Stretching combined with abrading the outer surface of the fibers, which is helping to break up any bit of membrane that might be left on the skin. Once membrane is broken up, it allows the core fibers underneath the membrane to be able to stretch further. Thus you get a more relaxed, soft hide. It's mainly it, to break up membrane and just to break up any surface fibers that are kind of being tight. Just allows the whole hide, all the fibers to open up and breathe. It's great. It's the best. So that's the thing, you know, in the first round of softening, you know, I'll go through, and depending on if I'm working in the sun and it's dry, or if I'm working on a damp day, a softening process for me, you know, say for a fox this size, could be, actually I'm going to do a new video here.